Welcome to Things Explained YouTube channel. Today's lesson is on geometry, how to find the area of a triangle. Let's begin. So you are here in order to find out how to take the surface area of any triangle. You've come to the right place. I will show you several examples using one method on how to calculate the area of many different types of triangles. I will also have you understand the behind the curtains of why the formula works the way it does. You will soon understand this. But let's take a few steps back and lay out the groundwork of understanding. In order to solve for area of a triangle, there are two things that you need to know: the length of its base and the highest point of the triangle when measured perpendicular from that base. When deciding what you will use as the base of a triangle, you can start from any one of the three sides. Once you pick a side to use as a base, the height that you use must be perpendicular to that base, meaning 90 degrees or at a right angle that lines up with the highest point perpendicular to your base. You must draw a new square that lays flush against your baseline, forming a 90-degree right angle that lines up with the corner opposite your base but still within your triangle. Measure the distance between your base and the corner. Make sure to measure along the green line that is perpendicular to your base where it is connected to the farthest distance you can still go within your triangle. This line you measure, in yellow, measures your height. Well, let's slow down again, and explain that in a different way. You need to determine which side you are going to use as the base, in purple, and when you put a square that forms up a right angle, in green, with the opposite angle, in red, and the base, in purple, and measure the straight line that connects them, this is the height, in yellow. Once you have this information, measure the baseline, in purple, and measure the height line, in yellow. Using this information, we can calculate the area of inside of a triangle. So in this example, we designated the longest side as the base, not for any reason in particular, but since we chose that line, measure it. It becomes the base. Now, the line we must use for height, must be perpendicular to the base and point straight to the opposite angle, in red. Once you find that line and draw it out, measure it. This new line is your height. So we have a base length of 15, and a height of 3.4. All we need now is the formula. Area is equal to base times the height divided by 2. So let's plug it in and solve. 15 times 3.4 divided by 2 is equal to 24.75 squared. This is the area of the triangle, in blue. This is your answer. This formula works with any triangle. It does not matter if the triangle is a right triangle, a flat, irregular triangle, an isosceles triangle, an equilateral triangle, or just a funny-looking triangle in general. This formula for finding the area of a triangle works the same on any triangle. All you need to do is pick a side to use as a base, measure it, put a square to it that forms a right angle that lines up with the opposite angle. Then measure along that line for height. With this formula, you can solve for area on any triangle. The reason this works is because every triangle is a three-sided polygon. Every three-sided polygon contains 180 degrees of space. Squares and rectangles, however, are four-sided polygons. They contain 360 degrees of space, twice that of triangles. In order to explain how this works, I have to also point out that when you take the area of a square or rectangle it is also somewhat related to the area of a triangle. In order to take the area of a square or rectangle, you only need length times height without dividing, because the 360 degrees of a four-sided polygon is twice that of the 180 degrees of a triangle, of the same base and height. So, in this example, here we can see that in our square, with a base of 5, times a height of 5, we get an area of 25 squared. In our rectangle, with a base of 10.6, times a height of 3.8, we get an area of 40.28 squared. If you look at a four-sided polygon, with a given length and height, the area of a triangle with that same length and height will always be half that of the area of that four-sided polygon. That triangle divides that four-sided polygon's space exactly in half. Fantastic! We just described the formula for taking the area of a triangle. You determine its base, find its highest point perpendicular to its base, multiply them, and then cut it in half. So you can see here that if we insert a triangle that shares the same base and height as a four-sided polygon, and then fit it inside of that four-sided polygon, the area of these triangles is exactly half the area of their respective four-sided polygons. For the triangle inside of our square, base length of 5, times height 5, divided by 2, is 12.5 squared, which covers exactly half of the square's area. For the triangle inside of our rectangle, base length of 10.6, times height 3.8, divided by 2, is 20.14 squared, which also covers exactly half of the rectangle it is inside of. The area of the space in red, inside the four-sided polygon, that is not the triangle in question, will add to exactly the same as the area inside of the triangle. This is why dividing a squared-off triangle in half, after determining its base, and its highest point perpendicular to the base, will give you the area of a triangle. Thank you for watching, Things Explained. I hope this has helped you understand triangles from a new perspective. I hope that this presentation has been helpful for you. If this is what you were looking for, please like, subscribe and recommend to anyone you know who has a desire to learn. As always, have a great day.